Football is back. Well, actually, guys, let me reiterate. Football's close enough to being back where you can start getting excited about this upcoming NFL season. This is around the time where, if you're a fantasy football fan, you're probably drafting your team. You're starting to think about this upcoming fantasy football season. You're starting to get excited about the actual season, projecting how good each team is or how bad some teams are going to be. But for today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about every NFL fan base. It affects everyone watching. No matter what NFL team you root for, it's going to affect you, because today, not only are we going to be talking about every NFL team, we're going to be making a positive video about every single NFL team, even though there are clearly, and I mean clearly, some teams that are supposed to be a lot better than others. Today, we're going to be providing a glimmer of hope to every NFL fan base. Yes, that's right. We're going to be talking about why every team has a chance to hoist the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year. Yes, every team has a chance. And you know what? Even though it may not seem like it, even though you may feel like your team isn't that good, in sports, you gotta learn, you gotta realize, anything is possible. So today, we're gonna show a lot of positivity towards every NFL fan base. So here's why every NFL team has a chance to win the Super Bowl in 2021. All right, so starting off with the Buffalo Bills, they had an elite offense last year that was carried by Josh Allen, but with the way he played, that's not necessarily a bad thing, and that alone got them to the AFC Championship game. They're bringing back many of the same players, so I only see room for improvement for a team that's already a contender. Look, the last few years have been atrocious for the Jets, but now there's a little more hope for improvement because the legendary coach they had in Adam Gase is being replaced by Robert Saleh. I mean, you could replace Adam Gase with a jar of mayonnaise and the Jets would probably still be better off. They have an exciting young QB in Zach Wilson, a promising draft pick of a running back in Michael Carter, and a better receiving core. Everything seems to have gotten better, so maybe it all comes together ahead of schedule for the Jets. Who knows? The Dolphins were so close to making the playoffs last year as they finished with a 10-6 record. All around, they have a really solid team. They have a better receiving core from last year by adding Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle to Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki. It basically all just comes down to Tua. If he makes big strides, then hey, maybe it could be their year. The Patriots have the best coach in Bill Belichick, obviously, a really good defense as usual, but the $16 million question is, can their offense improve from last year? They drafted Mac Jones, so either he emerges or Cam Newton has a resurgent year, but they did lose Julian Edelman to retirement and elite lineman Joe Thuney to free agency, but they did get Nelson Aguilar as a free agent, so... Did I mention they have the best coach in the league? The Giants had a terrific offseason. They picked up Kenny Golladay, they drafted wideout Kadarius Toney, and most importantly, they signed Mike Glennon. How could someone forget about Mike Glennon? Saquon Barkley is back. They have a really good defense already. They have a well-deserving Pro Bowl tight end in Evan Ingram who never drops any passes ever. And if Danny Dimes has a breakout year, don't sleep on the Giants. The Washington Red football team might just have the best defense in the entire league, led by young stud Chase Young. Their biggest problem last year, though, was a stagnant offense, but they went out and got the opposite of stagnant in Ryan Fitzmagic. I honestly love what they've done, and they actually could be a dark horse contender because of it. If America's team is healthy, they might just have the best offense in the entire league. Dak is back. Zeke is hungry for a bounce back. They have a great receiver threesome. Wait, that came out wrong. I mean, they have three really good receivers in Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup. A healthy offense, and I really emphasize the word healthy, could take them a long way on its own. For the Eagles, it all comes down to Jalen Hurts. Can he emerge as a franchise quarterback? If he does, then hey, a franchise QB can put a team on his back. They also have a solid defensive line, drafted a stud rookie wideout in Devontae Smith. So yeah, fly Eagles fly? Maybe. Like the Eagles, the Bengals could really use a great year from their QB, Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow's outlook for this season. I think he has superstar potential. Joe Mixon also has a chance to be one of the more elite running backs in the league if he's healthy, and hopefully that offensive line protects Burrow this year, as in keeping his ACLs intact, please. If they do, then the Bengals might have a shot. After starting off 11-0 last year, the Steelers just absolutely imploded. I think it was mainly because of their horrendous run game, but they drafted Najee Harris in the first round to fix that. They still have three super solid receivers in Claypool, Smith-Schuster, and Deontay Johnson. If Big Ben can avoid too many mistakes and they can run the ball better, I really like the Steelers' chances. The Ravens have all the talent in the world to contend for a Super Bowl this season. I think it's all contingent on whether or not Lamar Jackson can improve as a passer. I mean, he has the help to do that. Mark Andrews is a really good tight end, Hollywood Brown is an excellent deep threat, and they drafted Rashad Bateman in the first round. And that defense... Like the Ravens, the Browns have a stacked roster in terms of talent. The defense is elite. They have the best backfield, in my opinion, when you combine Chubb and Hunt. I think if Baker Mayfield can get even better and maybe Odell can have a bounce back year, the once pathetic Browns have an actual shot at the Lombardi Trophy. The Vikings actually have some things to be excited about. Dalvin Cook is one of the best running backs in the sport. Justin Jefferson had an all-time rookie season, and he's only going to get better. Adam Thielen is a great second receiver, if he even is that. Hooked on a Thielen. Sorry, force a habit. And Kirk Cousins is, well, solid. But most importantly, Kyle Rudolph is gone. So if that doesn't give them a chance, I don't know what does. Man, I hate Kyle Rudolph. He's the worst fantasy tight end. The Bears seem to always have a good defense, and that's no exception heading into this season. But unfortunately, they seem to always have problems offensively. But you know what? That might just change this year, because I loved their decision to draft QB Justin Fields. It's not really known when he'll start, but until he does, they also have Andy Dalton. Can Fields please start soon? And who could forget their stud receiver Allen Robinson, their very solid tailback in David Montgomery, and maybe Darnell Mooney breaks out as a receiver as well. As soon as the Bears bench Dalton, they'll have a chance. The Lions are fully expected to be Super Bowl contenders, and anything short of that will honestly be disappointing. Jared Goff might just take home the MVP, Geronimo Allison, Amon-Ra St. Brown, wait, did I say that right? And Brashad Perriman make up their elite core of receivers. Hawkinson is a really good tight end, and DeAndre Swift could emerge as a running back. They drafted, in my opinion, the best O-lineman in the draft in Penei Sewell, so I like what I see. Okay, the last 3 things I said were legit. The rest, well, they have Dan Campbell as their coach now. That guy's awesome. Why'd you kick it, Matt LaFleur? You have the MVP on your team and you think Tom Brady's gonna give you the ball back? Are you insane? Sorry, I meant to say that if you're the Packers, Aaron Bleepin Rodgers was the MVP last year. You still have that guy. You also still have the best receiver in the league in Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones is a heck of a running back, and you were one stupid play call away from making the Super Bowl. Matt, what's wrong with you, you stupid? Yeah, the Packers are really good. They have what it takes to go far. Yeah. From top to bottom, the Chargers have one of the best rosters in the league. Justin Herbert's a stud. Keenan Allen is a stud with a sick beard. Austin Eckler's a stud with male pattern baldness. But aside from that, they're all studs. That defense, along with both their offensive and defensive lines, are terrific. I mean, what's not to like here? I think the Chargers are a sneaky good bet to go farther than many anticipate. The Raiders have a great tight end. Oh wait, should I say more? Okay, I will. Josh Jacobs is a solid running back. Derek Carr looks like he's wearing makeup and is also pretty good at throwing a football. It may be a long shot for the Raiders to win it all in 2021, but Coach John Gruden gives great pep talks, so anything's possible. The Broncos have an elite defense now with the return of Von Miller and the drafting of cornerback Patrick Surtain, and who could forget that elite offense with Drew Lock at the helm? Well, hopefully we all can. But that defense, though, 2 straight Super Bowl appearances, the best quarterback in the league, the best tight end in the league, the most dynamic receiver in the league, Andy Reid and his beautiful mustache. Chiefs fans, I like your chances. With Mahomeboy, aka Patrick Mahomes, you always have a good chance to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. I actually really like what the Seahawks did this past offseason. They needed a change at offensive coordinator. That offense towards the end of the year last year became really stagnant. They convinced Russell Wilson to come back. Tyler Lockett and maybe my favorite receiver, DK Metcalf, are back at it again. Chris Carson is back. This offense is among the best in football when healthy, and their defense looks like it'll be better than last year, so don't sleep on the Seahawks. I also love what the Rams did this offseason. They went bold and decided to trade Jared Goff for Matt Stafford, who is finally in an environment to showcase his terrific talent, which I think he will. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods make for a great target duo, and the Rams might just have the 2 best defensive players in the league in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Yes, Cam Akers getting hurt sucks, but I could see a Darrell Henderson breakout. Why not? So if Stafford does as well or better than we think he'll do, I think the Rams will be right in the mix of things at the end of the season. Kyler Murray really turned heads last season, and DeAndre Hopkins proved to be an excellent acquisition from the Texans. Now with giving chances to JJ Watt and AJ Green, the Cardinals could see 2 former superstars maybe have resurgent seasons. If those 2 are anything like they once were and Kyler Murray continues improving, the Cardinals could become a serious sleeper in the NFC. Look, there's no question Jimmy Garoppolo is sexy, but whether or not he is a franchise quarterback is a huge question, and to me, the answer to that is no. I think under a really promising Trey Lance, along with a healthy George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and Raheem Mostert, we're talking about one of the most stacked rosters in the league. And that defense, when healthy, led by Nick Bosa, is also elite. Let's just put it this way. The only reason the Niners weren't a contender last year, like they were 2 seasons ago, was strictly due to their health. They have the roster to contend now when healthy. healthy. The Colts had a really well-balanced team coming into this year. They had a great offensive line, great backfield, solid defense, Prince Harry at quarterback, you name it. But then their best linemen in Quentin Nelson and QB Carson Wentz both went down with foot injuries. And it might just be me, but I don't think Jacob Eason is a future Hall of Fame quarterback. That's just me, but who knows? Yeah, so if they can weather the storm until those two come back, the Colts are a really good team. I think the Titans offense is a powerhouse, and just because of that, I think they have a legitimate shot at a Super Bowl this year. Ryan Tannehill has turned his career around. Pairing Julio Jones with A.J. Brown was a great decision in my opinion, and I think Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. Well, maybe McCaffrey is up there too, but definitely in terms of pure running and power, Henry is the king. The defense isn't great, but did I mention that offense? Yeah, that alone makes them elite. My Jaguars are really interesting this year because they could either be really good or not. This is because they have a lot of promising young talent in, of course, Trevor Lawrence. Have you seen his hair, by the way? They have a young, exciting backfield in Travis Etienne and James Robinson. DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, and Marvin Jones as the wide receivers get me excited. However, we just can't accurately predict how well really young teams will actually perform on the field until we've seen it. But most importantly, the make or break factor for them is one Tim Tebow. If he gets even close to the 1,000 yards I expect him to pile up this year, the Jags could fully blossom in year one under Urban Meyer. Trust me. The Texans are so good, dude. Their backfield is fantastic. Whoever their quarterback is will be great, I'm sure. That defense is among the best in football. If they even lose one game, I'll be surprised. Okay, fine. The Texans will probably be unwatchable this year, but only probably, because you know what? In sports, you never know. What if it all pans out? Texans fans, there's hope, because in sports, anything can happen. Never forget that. I don't know if Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston will start for the Saints in 2021, or Trevor Siemian, can't forget that stud, but no matter what, Sean Payton is a great coach and seems to always figure it out. Alvin Kamara is one of the more dynamic players in the sport, and the Saints always seem to be in the mix, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're back there again. Okay, hear me out. The Falcons might not be a good defensive team. They might have lost a future Hall of Fame receiver in Julio Jones, but now that puts Calvin Ridley in the spotlight, and it also puts rookie tight end Kyle Pitts in a spot to have a historic first season. And I think Mike Davis is a great improvement over their once pathetic backfield of Todd Gurley, Ito Smith, and Brian Hill. Look, the Falcons might not look like a contender, but that offense gives the Falcons a lot to be excited about. If Sam Darnold has a breakout season, then consider the Panthers a dark horse, because that offense would be sneaky good. Christian McCaffrey's back from injury. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson are a really good receiver combination, both capable of having 1,000 yards. Their defense at least looks to have gotten better by their selection of corner J.C. Horn with the 8th overall pick, so the Panthers have a chance to make huge strides in 2021. And last but definitely not least, let me make this nice and simple for you guys. The Bucs won the Super Bowl last year. Then they decided to bring everyone back. Everyone. So if they won it once, they definitely could win it again. And also, they have this one guy in particular on their team. I forget his name, but he has some Super Bowl experience, maybe just a little bit. So I feel like with this guy, you might always have a chance. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for watching as always. And remember to leave your comments. Let me know any and all of your opinions you have in the comments below. I love hearing all your opinions. And if you like the video, maybe consider hitting that like button. It's totally up to you. Consider maybe subscribing if you enjoy sports. I'm sure you will enjoy what this channel has to offer. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.